your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
All right. Well, good evening to you. As we look at the satellite and radar picture here, we have got a lot of cloud cover across the region. Those clouds, well, they're going to stick around. And then look at the rain already on the move as we go throughout tonight. Those showers will start to become more widespread. So grab an umbrella as you will need it. Temperatures staying chilly, so it's another cold rain. 49 in Champaign, 49 in Springfield, and as we go throughout the course of tonight, we're going to see temperatures just kind of hovering here into the mid and upper 40s with the rain coming in. We'll talk more about how long the rain sticks around when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Another day of high positivity in one region, and businesses there are worried about what mitigation could do. Plus, high school basketball was moved into the high-risk category, but the IHSA says that's not going to stop them.
And it's a Target 3 investigation you simply don't want to miss. What was found near drinking water aquifers.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
And it does seem like we've been all kind of expecting it with the numbers that we've had, that we would have some mitigations come into play.
Across the state, COVID numbers are spiking. Now, another region may soon face a crackdown from the Pritzker administration. Good evening. I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Region 3 is one day away from triggering more mitigations. That region starts west of Macon County and includes Logan, Sangamon, and Christian counties. The region's positivity rate is over 8% for the second straight day.
And WCIA 3's Cole Henke is live in Springfield. So, Cole, what do local leaders have to say about the potential for more of this crackdown?
None of the officials that I spoke with today were that surprised that the extra mitigations are on the horizon here, but they are concerned about enforcing them once they are put into place and to make sure that they actually work. Regions in the state that are seeing increased rules because of high COVID numbers, and a 7th may soon be on the way. Region 3 has 2 straight days of a positivity rate of over 8%. For Sangamon County Public Health Director Gail O'Neill, the fact that the region is on the brink of seeing increased mitigations is not surprising.
I mean, I think with the numbers we've been having, it has seemed inevitable, but I don't want that to come across that people can't help turn it around.
This is the closest the region has been to new measures from the state. Christian and Montgomery counties have been spiking for weeks. The smaller agencies running those counties' responses have trouble enforcing the rules, and they don't see that changing even though a crackdown from the state is looming.
So with that minimal staffing, with the workload that we're already pulling, it's going to be extremely difficult for us to do any enforcement of those mitigations, quite honestly.
If the region goes above 8% for a 3rd straight day, the state will shut down indoor dining at bars and restaurants. Business owners told WCIA that another shutdown could spell the end for their businesses. Downtown Springfield, Inc. is bracing for the worst.
We've learned a lot about the virus, and there is a way to function and keep people safe. It just really depends on, things like everybody wearing masks. When you go to a downtown business, everybody's wearing masks.
But O'Neill says the numbers are too high right now. It's time to pull out all the stops.
With these numbers, it kind of is irresponsible not to do everything we can to try to mitigate the problems.
Sangamon County tallied 109 new COVID cases today. That's the 2nd highest single-day total ever since the pandemic started. And it was the 4th time in the last 7 days that the county recorded more than 100 cases in a single day. And Region 6, which contains Champaign County, is also really close to these extra mitigations. For the first time today, they recorded a positivity rate of over 8%. 2 more days of that, and they get the crackdown too. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Henke, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
More important than ever to wear a mask, wash your hands, and keep your distance. All right, Cole, thanks. There are almost 190 new cases reported in Champaign County, as you can see, and the public health says that is just over a 3-day period. Now, the state's reporting system has been down, but but there are over 6,100 cases total in the county. Only 430 of those are active.
Following up now, we told you about the COVID-19 outbreak at the Danville VA. Today, there are 36 active cases. 3 people have died. A spokesperson says they are making changes to keep it from spreading. They have fewer ways to get in or out of the building, and they are restricting visitors. Everyone with the virus is being isolated. Their hospitalization rate has gone lower every month since March. There are more than 6,100 new cases in the state. That brings the total to about 389,000. The 7-day positivity rate is at 6.7%. There are 51 more deaths, 2 of those in Macon and Pike counties. Illinois has lost more than 9,600 people to the virus. The IHSA sent a shockwave today. It's planning to go against Governor Pritzker and the Illinois Department of Public Health.
Yeah, it'll play high school basketball. That said, just 24 hours after the governor put the season on hold. WCIA 3 Sports Director Brett Behrens is here. As Jennifer said, definitely a shockwave.
Yeah, I know. I was not expecting this afternoon. Breaking news for so many people. Most assumed today that the season was over after yesterday's announcement making basketball a high-risk sport. But the IHSA Board of Directors' landslide move puts the pressure back on the governor. Here are a few of the details. Boys and girls basketball practice will start in 2.5 weeks on November 16th, with games following on the 30th. All players, coaches, and officials will have to wear a mask the entire time. That includes during the games, and a 50-person limit will be enforced, making it nearly impossible to have any fans. IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson cited mental health, a shrinking calendar to postpone the sport any further to make it happen, and kids leaving the state to play elsewhere as determining factors, saying the timing of yesterday's news from the governor was a surprise.
That caught me off guard. You know, I can't say that I was caught off guard totally from, you know, their limits that they were establishing. We really need to do something that is student-centered and get these students back competing. And in their opinions, we can do it safely.
Now, this is just for basketball. Other sports such as wrestling, boys swimming and diving, cheerleading, and dance also impacted. We'll have more on that coming up in sports. A very controversial topic just to get here to today after yesterday's news.
It's happened in your department.
Yeah, we've had a lot going on after the last 7-8 months when there's not been much. So.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
Well, today is recognized as National First Responders Day, a time to thank workers for their commitment to serving their communities. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays joins us now. So, Jamie, first responders often risk their own lives to protect us.
That's right, Paul. It can be a dangerous job, but the City of Urbana's fire chief says they do it because they want to serve. First responders include professional and volunteer fire, police, emergency medical technicians, and paramedic workers. This day is an opportunity to make sure first responders are recognized for their contributions to communities across the country. The City of Urbana's fire chief, Chuck Loss, says he knew early on he was interested in becoming a firefighter.
That drive to serve the public, to give back to the public is something that has always been something very special and very gratifying.
Loss says he still enjoys the work that he does, and it makes his job even better to be appreciated by others for what he does. Jennifer and Paul.
All right, Jamie, thanks.
Lovie Smith says the Illini are clean of COVID-19. Why the same can't be said for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Also tonight.
If nobody has tested that water in those private water wells, it needs to be tested. They need to stop drinking it, and it's probably too late.
What our Target 3 investigators found in alarming test results from this field where a natural gas company dumped dangerous chemicals.
And we saw some sun today.
A little bit of sun.
Hey.
Short-lived, but now the clouds are back, and soon the rain is to follow, and that's exactly what we're tracking out there. But not raining yet in Decatur. That's a Roofing Dog on-net carriage crossing camera. Bottom part of the picture. Always enjoy the mural of the Decatur Staley's down there in Decatur. And let's take a look at the highs and the lows today. 50, 39 are the numbers. Record high of 84. That'd be nice, right? But we're not going to see anything like that anytime soon. More details about the timing of rain, Hurricane Zeta's impacts, and we'll look at some winds for Halloween when we come back.
WCIA 3 News is sponsored by Classic Granite and Marble.
Main streets in Illinois represent the very best of America. Folks here work hard and play by the rules. But for too long, politicians in Washington and Springfield have let us down. Betsy Londrigan, she's part of the Madigan machine. She'll bring even more dysfunction and corruption to Washington. I'm fighting for bipartisan solutions to lower health care costs, protect those with pre-existing conditions, and strengthen our small businesses. I'm Rodney Davis. I approve this message, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Mike Madigan doesn't bankroll politicians out of the goodness of his heart. There's always an agenda. Take Betsy Londrigan. Londrigan took big bucks from Madigan's network, then announced her support for a Madigan-backed plan to raise taxes, crushing small businesses and killing jobs. He bankrolled her. We'd pay the price. That's how it works with Madigan, and that's why Betsy Londrigan won't work for us. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's the classic politician move.
False. That claim is false.
Rodney Davis lied about his opponent, hoping you wouldn't notice one of his biggest donors owns ComEd. In a years-long bribery scheme, politicians helped ComEd jack up electricity rates, making Illinois homeowners pay a sharp increase and making a fortune for Davis's donors. Classic Rodney Davis, helping himself, not you. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When you shoot the zesty burger sauce rapids on this new double cheeseburger papadilla, oh, you're gonna want to capsize in that Chunderdome of meat, cheese, and pickles. The new double cheeseburger papadilla and the return of double cheeseburger pizza. Papa John's.
That scared me, though. Did it scare you?
Have a smashing good time. Cooking Rach's latest Make Your Own Takeout.
You're going to get that out of his box, right?
Next, Rachel.
Tomorrow at 3 on WCIA 3. WCIA 3 News is sponsored by Bash Heating and Air Conditioning. Now Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Kevin Lighty.
All right, so some active weather coming over the next 24 hours or so. Let's talk about what we're going to be expecting here. Essentially, the radar is going to start to become pretty green here before too long. Lots of rain heading in our direction. We're just barely starting to see that creeping in here from the far south. So again, those showers that are down there right now, temperatures upper 40s. So here we go again, another kind of cold rain. 49 Champaign, Decatur, and in Danville. Over the next 8 hours, we'll see temperatures falling back down to those low 40s. That's what we're forecasting for an overnight low. But the big story will be the rain. Here's the future track showing how this plays out. Notice areas north of I-74. We're talking Bloomington, Pontiac, Watsika. You're not going to get a whole lot out of this. I think a lot of this occurs here south of I-74, and some decent rainfall here I think may set up between, say, Paris, Mattoon, Taylorville, down near Decatur, Tuscola, Arcola, down into Charleston and Effingham. Those areas could really see some good rainfall amounts from this. A steady rainfall that's going to last all night long. And we're going to see those rain showers even into early tomorrow in Ashmore with a high around 52 degrees, rain in Charleston, a high around 53, and we'll do our water tower in Oriana. You'll see more of the same with those low 50s, cold rain for high temperatures. Hurricane Zeta, this thing is literally making landfall right now. It is going right over New Orleans, taking almost nearly a direct hit with the eye of that. Now, the reason I show you this is because the track of this goes to the north, and it is that tropical moisture that gets thrown our way that helps add into these rainfall totals that are pretty impressive for areas here closer to I-70, pushing 1.5 inches in some areas. As we look ahead to the weekend, we dry things out. Saturday is going to be nice at 58. Cooler Sunday, but both days, look at the winds cranking at 35 miles per hour. So some very gusty winds here. And as we look at the trick-or-treat forecast, you're going to see that temperatures there aren't going to be looking too bad. So 41 for tonight, mostly cloudy. Rain is going to arrive late. Tomorrow, the high temperature at around 51 degrees. Rain mainly early. Don't forget, you can download the WCIA 3 weather app to get the very latest when you're on the go. That radar will come in really handy tomorrow as those storms move into the area. Let's look at the Sunday forecast, and you can see how temperatures here are going to remain quite chilly for us. Clocks turning back Saturday night into Sunday. 58 Halloween, 48 Sunday. Election Day looks great at 59, and then we may crack the 60s by this time next week.
You got a lot of icons going on.
There's so much going on.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
spices it up when the weather is.
Yeah, because this has been some boring weather to forecast, that's for sure.
You gave us a good end of the 7-day.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not at all.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
It's billed as one of the biggest and best sports complexes in the region, where it's gone green and is getting closer to completion.
Plus this.
I think it's ridiculous.
It's a tax that could double their bill. Why that's not the only thing people are unhappy about.
Prices slashed at Shields and Rantoul. No tricks on this affordable Ford Fusion. 0% for 66 months and a $3,000 rebate. Plus a warranty forever mean peace of mind. Dare to choose yours at scary Franken deal days at Shields and Rantoul.
Start feeling all right with a smile that fits your life. At Aspen Dental, our best price on dentures is back, starting at $2.99 per arch for a limited time. We craft them on site, so they never leave our site, and they're yours in as little as a day. Right fit, right quality, right price. Dentures starting at $2.99 per arch, only through October 31st. Only at Aspen Dental. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL 7 days a week, or book online today.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World in Champaign, we'll beat any competitor's deal. We'll beat any sales deal, any advertised deal, any negotiated deal, any internet deal. I guarantee the best deal on your next appliance purchase.
Heather's trying to decide to get this GE top-load washer from Dick Van Dyke or the big online dealer. Dick Van Dyke has fast repair service.
They don't.
A free 5 to 10 year protection plan.
They don't.
After delivery and warranty, we'll save her $155. She's buying from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
What do you think of the man cave?
I'm telling you this because I care about you. This carpet, it's not good.
I know.
When friends need new floors, you send them to Flooring America. And right now, it's our Shop Local flooring sale. Save up to $1,000 or choose interest-free financing on floors store-wide. Shop Local, save big, in-store and online. Only at Flooring America.
This may surprise you, but I am not a billionaire.
I'm not a billionaire.
I am not a billionaire.
But billionaires are spending a fortune running ads to fool you about the fair tax.
The truth is, the fair tax will help small business owners like me.
And farmers like me.
And seniors like me.
But the fair tax will finally make millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share.
So they will stop at nothing to fool you.
It's time for change. Vote yes for fairness.
Come to Franken deal days at Shields and Rantoul. Up to $12,000 off MSRP on Ram and Ford truck. Interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months. Plus a warranty forever. Gabby great Franken deals now at Shields and Rantoul.
Live from your local news leader, Jennifer Roscoe, Paul Cicchini, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast, with meteorologist Kevin Whitey and Brett Behrens on sports. You're watching WCIA 3 News at 6.
The bottom line is the can has been kicked down the road for longer than I've been alive.
But at some point, that won't be an option anymore. City leaders in Danville need to fix the sewer system. Doing so will make everyone's sewer bills higher for years.
But if they don't do something, it could end up costing even more later on. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting live in our newsroom. So, Courtney, how much more will this cost?
All right, that's a big question, Jennifer. And most people in Danville pay an average of about $16 a month for their sewer bill. And that could go up to about $29 a month if this passes. But some city leaders argue that's a small price to pay to maintain something crucial that's crumbling.
We still have some sewers that were actually built at the turn of the last century.
And not much has been done since. That's why Danville Mayor Ricky Williams says updates are long overdue.
We had a woman fall into a sinkhole in our neighborhood. It just collapsed on her. And so that's the kind of aging infrastructure that we're dealing with. We get sewer backups in folks' yards, in their houses. We get flooding from stormwater drainage issues.
That's why he says repairs have to happen soon.
If we are able to line a pipe, it costs us $50 per square foot. However, if we have to replace that, it costs us $250.
It'll be paid for through Danville's sewer bills. The increase will differ based on the type of property.
It's 85% residential, tripling commercial, and 3.5 times on the industrial. And I think it's ridiculous.
Alderman Aaron Troglia will be voting against it.
There's never a perfect time to do this, but honestly, I think you couldn't pick a worse time. And I just don't think the sewer system's going to fall apart in 1 year on this if we don't do it. If we should be at least waiting until we know what's going to go on with COVID, and we're not going to get shut down.
But Mayor Williams says they don't have that much time.
If we don't do something about it now, we're going to get to a place where it makes getting rid of wastewater impractical for both residents and businesses.
And this still needs to be passed by the full city council. They'll vote on it next Tuesday. If it does go through, they'll start collecting money in April, and there will be a 5% increase on sewer bills every year after that. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Courtney, thanks. The multi-million-dollar sports complex in Rantoul continues to move closer to completion. In fact, they're seeing a lot of green today. The turf was laid in place. It'll cover 8 baseball, softball, and t-ball diamonds. There will also be 8 multi-purpose fields for soccer, football, and other sports. The complex covers 60 acres off I-57. It's set to open in March 2021.
So many basketball players tonight. A total 180 from what they were feeling yesterday.
Yeah, this time yesterday we were sitting here all somewhat doom and gloom, thinking that nothing was going to happen for a basketball season, and today we're seeing brighter futures, right? For so many. We'll have more on how the basketball season very well could happen. It's a big day for us high school players and coaches. That's next.
WCIA 3 News is sponsored by Oakwood Restoration and Blasting Services.
Coming up tomorrow on CI Living, a visit from the new Whisk Coffee and Wine Bar in Mahomet.
Plus, we're going to explore the outdoor fun you can have at Lake Shelbyville. Set those DVRs for 4.
Meet the new DQ Loaded A1 Steakhouse Burger, stacked with thick-cut bacon, crunchy onion rings, and 2 premium steak sauces. A1 thick and hearty steak sauce and a creamy peppercorn sauce, all piled high on top of 2 100% real beef patties. This is one burger that needs 2 hands. The new DQ Loaded A1 Steakhouse Burger. DQ, happy tastes good.
ComEd admitted to bribing a politician so they could make millions. And who was on the receiving end of tens of thousands from ComEd's parent company? Rodney Davis. Not only did Davis's campaign rake in cash from their top executives, but Davis bragged he personally lobbied to bail out ComEd. A multi-billion-dollar bailout paid for by families like ours. Rodney Davis's campaign cashed in. ComEd made millions, and we paid the price. DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Betsy Londrigan, and I approve this message.
After all the ads, you deserve to know the truth. Independent fact checkers say Rodney Davis's attacks against Betsy Londrigan just aren't true.
That claim is false. That claim is false.
The truth? Mike Madigan is not funding Londrigan's campaign. Davis is also lying about his record on health care. Davis voted 11 times to repeal the Affordable Care Act with no replacement. We can't trust Rodney Davis.
Menards carries a great selection of lighting products in stock. Find your style with Patriot Lighting. We carry a wide array of styles and finishes of outdoor lighting. Enhance your home with the look you want while adding security for peace of mind. This Shane Outdoor Wall Light is a great way to add elegant lighting to the outside of your home. Pick it up today for only $44.49 after 11% rebate right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards. And now, WCIA 3 Sports with Brent Barons.
It is a decision most didn't see coming, but in a landmark move, the IHSA is going against Governor Pritzker's COVID-19 guidelines in order to play basketball this season. There's a lot to this story, but here are a few of the basics. Boys and girls basketball teams can start practice November 16th. Games on November 30th. Players, coaches, officials, everyone in the gym must wear a mask at all times. That's really important in this 50-person limit for indoors, so that almost eliminates all fans in every game, and the decision to play is up to each school district. We'll have more on that in a moment. But it's big news for Danville senior Tevin Smith, who is in Oregon right now, actually playing with the United States Basketball Academy. He did that because he didn't have any games here. The Division I recruit is excited to get the chance to suit up for the Vikings and be seen by college coaches.
It's encouraging, like you know that you have for a season for sure now.
Like then, literally like 10 minutes ago, we was just hoping that we had a season, and now it's finalized that we do have a season, so I'm really happy.
I caught up with him just a couple of minutes after the news was released, and IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson says he feels games can be played safely if everyone follows the Sport Medicine Advisory Committee guidelines. The key in all of this, it's up to each school district whether they will compete in basketball or not, and if they do, the local health departments will decide when it's time to stop practicing or competing due to COVID-19 outbreaks.
It's really what played out in the fall, and I think they're the best. They're, boots on the ground to determine, what's safe for their students. The decisions will be made locally in conjunction with local health departments.
This news was released by the IHSA during Governor Pritzker's daily COVID-19 press briefing. He was asked several questions about it and didn't hold back commenting, questioning the decision and the potential litigation moving forward if schools don't comply with his guidelines not to play.
IHSA may have their views of it, but school districts know what the rules are, and I think that, it's unfortunate, but they would be probably taking on legal liability if they went ahead and moved, beyond what the state has set as the mitigation standard.
Governor Pritzker's guidelines list basketball as a level 1 sport. It would have to move to level 3 in order to play games. In addition to the basketball news, the IHSA board also votes today to move wrestling from the winter to the summer. The season will run April 19th through June 26th. The other winter sports are low risk, including boys swimming and diving, cheerleading, dance, bowling, and girls gymnastics. Those sports are also moving forward as planned starting November 16th. On top of all of this, guys, you've got Big Ten news today. The Wisconsin-Nebraska game canceled. Lovie Smith says his team is clean.
It's good news. Brett, thanks.